As a Jersey boy who lives so close to Philadelphia and attended WrestleMania 40, I've been collecting every figure that comes out representing their gear from WrestleMania 40. And today we are unboxing the new Logan Paul Ultimate Edition. I'm excited about this one. Even comes with the WrestleMania 40 Prime bottle. It's going to be a good one, guys. Stay tuned. All right, so we have to start off by talking about Logan Paul's first ever WWE Ultimate Edition figure, which was a Mattel Creations made-to-order exclusive. So it was like one of their first ever made-to-order exclusives. And basically what that means is it is made to order, which means however many people order it, that's how many they make, which really creates a very collector-friendly market for things like this. And this figure was worth a lot of money when it first came out. People were dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this Ultimate Edition figure. And honestly, rightfully so, because I do think it is still probably his best figure to date. But I am excited to take a look at this new Ultimate Edition mainline figure. But you'll notice he comes in that yellow and black gear. He's got the necklace. A lot of people complain that it didn't have the Pokemon card in it. But I mean, come on, guys. It's not going to have the Pokemon card. It's WWE. They're not paying Pokemon to put, one of their cards on an action figure. Comes with the headband heads, all of them. Neutral scan, tongue out, and then the screaming head. We are today taking a look at his newest Ultimate Edition, which does have some similar heads in there, right? But it is in his WrestleMania 40 gear. Now, first thing I want to talk about is in this packaging, you will notice that the vest, the star right here, is a little bit quality control defected, right? The paint apps are not very well done there. I thought it was just mine. However, I saw their orders rolling in, and I noticed this seems to be a problem across the board. Where this piece of the vest goes into the hole to hold it in place, kind of scratches off some paint, so a little bit defective. I wouldn't call it an error. It's just a quality control issue. On the side, it has a nice shot of Logan Paul with the United States Championship draped over his shoulder, and on the back, we have the typical figure shot, superstar shot. So up here, we have the figure pose. Down here, we have a real picture of Logan Paul from WrestleMania. And it says the odds were stacked against the social media superstar at WrestleMania 40 as he defended the United States Championship against best friends Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in a triple threat match. Never to be underestimated, Paul overcame the odds and walked out as the retaining United States champion. I was there, loved the match in person. 6 feet 2 inches from Cleveland, Ohio. The Pulverizer is his finisher, and obviously his career highlight is being the United States champion. Now, we're going to slice that seal, case fresh style, as I always say, and we're going to see what this figure's all about. I will say this up front. I am a fan of Logan Paul, and I think he does some really great work in ring. People hate him, but that is also part of his job, is to be hated, and he does a really great job at being hateable. I always say one of my favorite things about Ultimate Editions, got to open this up. We got to slice this right here. Forgot to slice one of the piece of tape. One of the things that makes these so special is they have little Easter eggs on the packaging, and right here it just says Pulverizer, and on the other side it says social media superstar. So let me just go out and say I think that they mailed this one in because they just took 2 little lines from there. Nothing too special or like inside. That's okay. We don't need it. We're going to take out all the pieces first. Got to go smallest to largest. So we'll start off with his interchangeable hands. We got fists here, and they are wrapped in some tape that is very Eagles greenish, which I like. Right here, we have his pointer fingers. Again, one of my favorite interchangeable hands that we get in the Mattel line. We have Logan Paul's United States Championship, which is beautiful, but my favorite thing that they do now is they include the side plates, which really personalizes each time we get this belt, and really is a huge selling point because every time they do a different side plate, it's basically a new belt, and people who collect all the championships are going to want to pick these up. So I would say it's smart marketing on Mattel's part. Right here, we have the WrestleMania Prime bottle, which is hard to see on the camera, but it has the Prime logo going down, hydration drink right there, and then up there we have the WrestleMania 40 logo, which I'll be honest is not very legible on this. So if you're thinking that the camera is just blurry, it's not. This is really not very legible, the logo. It's kind of blurry. Next up, we have his entrance vest, which, as I said, man, the quality control on this is pretty brutal. We got some paint scratches there. Right here, that 1 star, as I said, is pretty messed up, dude. Like, that's pretty rough looking, right? On the back, Logan Paul, but I mean, it's texture. That is very, very nicely done. The sculpting on this is beautiful. It's just the paint apps are a little bit rough around the edges, I would say. Definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. All right, so we have a couple similar heads here. As far as the one that's on the figure and this one, very similar looking face, very stoic. However, this one does not have the entrance bandana on, whereas the other one does. You can see his hair kind of flowing behind his ears, which is pretty cool. The likeness is there. They did a great job on the paint apps on his beard. Very, very cool. And then here is that yelling head sculpt we were just talking about with the made-to-order Ultimate, which looks pretty good. Honestly, I think it looks better than the original. They're really zoning in on how to make these paint apps better and better and better with that true effects style. If only they could do the same for things like this. And now we got to free him and pulverize that plastic. Love this. So the green on his wrist tape is slightly different than that of the green on his gear, as it should be. Now, no tattoos on Logan Paul. But let's be honest, Logan Paul is a very shredded individual who is in pretty good shape. I do think that he deserves a little bit different torso here to give him a little bit more of that physique style that he has. But let's talk about the gear, man. Those elbow pads, the black and Philadelphia Eagles green is on point. Same thing with the gear. You can see he's got the lacing in the front, green tights with black and silver outlining. Nothing of text-wise on there, though. No Maverick, no Logan Paul, no LP. It's literally just green, black, piped in silver. But it works. I mean, that's what he wore, and it looks good. As I said, the head on the figure is very similar to that of this other head, as you can see. However, one has a sculpted headband, as you can see, and one does not. So, very, very cool. So this head right here is interesting because it is sculpted from the headband down, and then an additional piece of hair is applied on top and glued, as you can see. So, whereas this one, all right, you have the molded head, and then the hair is completely additional. All right, so let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that United States Championship on my man Logan Paul. We're going to get him entrance ready. Wow, I've never seen this. I got to be careful with this belt. It's the holes punctured on the bottom is right at the edge, and this thing, you know, one wrong move, that thing is going to be broken. So that's kind of unfortunate. Having a lot of quality control issues anymore with Mattel, which kind of stinks moving over to Vietnam. But let's put his entrance gear on. Now, as you can see, as I showed you on the picture on the back, he did not have his vest closed. So it's not the end of the world that the star is messed up, because when it's like this, you're not going to notice, right? It's just when you're buying a $35 figure, right? You don't want it to have any paint issues. You don't want to have to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to close it because it's going to look bad because it's all messed up. You want to be able to do whatever you want with it. And that's the biggest issue, right? When we complain about these quality control issues, we're not bashing Mattel, but people are spending their hard-earned money on these things, you want them to be like new. You don't want scratches in the paint. That can come later when somebody plays with it, right? You don't want that as you're pulling it out of the package. But there he is, just the gear. And I think that we're going to put this Screaming head on real quick just to take a look at it. Not my favorite Logan Paul head, a little bit more cartoony than I like. However, he holds that prime bottle so well. Let me pull this up a little bit closer before we spin it. And it looks very, very good, man. The championship around his waist. This figure is awesome. And maybe I'm biased because I love Logan Paul, because I was at WrestleMania 40, but I do think they did a great job on this. However, I just noticed another quality control issue on this rubber entrance jacket. Look at that. Random green paint just spread right across it there. Kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I am not fortunate enough to have lived in an area that is constantly stocking wrestling figures. And to be honest with you, Ultimate Edition figures that aren't Legends Ultimates are almost non-existent in my area. So it's not even like I could return this and be like, oh, I'll just wait till I find a better one in stores and pick it up, because that's not guaranteed. I would be stuck just ordering this over and over and over again, hoping it gets better. So I got to take what I can get. The prime bottle looks very, very cool in hand. This is probably how I would display him. Because, as I said, he has the bandana on, so I feel like you have to pose him with the bandana if you're going to put him in the entrance gear. But if you are planning to have him ring ready, I say go with the other ones. But to me, those should be without the belt, without the prime, without the entrance vest. He does have, as we said, interchangeable hands. We got fists, and we got the pointer hand. So we can put this back on. Lots of ways that we can pose Mr. Logan Paul. Which, by the way, if you guys been following me on Instagram, then you know that I have been posing the figures that we unbox on the channel and posting the posed shots, the studio shots, on Instagram. So if you're not already, follow me on Instagram. But I would say this is a pretty solid figure. If you're considering picking it up, I will link it below so that you can. It's currently on Amazon, which is where I got it for retail, which, if you don't know, retail on Ultimate Edition figures is now $35.63. Very expensive, going from $32.99 up to almost $36. So almost a $3 jump, which is pretty brutal. But such is the times we live in. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeel. Twitter is at TheFigHeel. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, available now on Amazon.com. Or simply go to HeelBooks.com. And make sure you join Whatnot at WhatHeal.com, and you will get $15 off your first purchase. See you on the next one, guys. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE, Mattel, AEW, Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeel's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 7,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With figure photography by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Full-color paperback and hardcover editions available now at HeelBooks.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeel. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeel. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHeal.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.